Hey everyone. So quite a few of you have been asking about my next video, and I was eager to make one, don't get me wrong, but I had a lot of thinking to do, reflecting, coming up with a topic. I've been jotting down ideas for the last couple days and trying to figure out which one to run with. Hey, y'all see the Lakers shirt? Yes, Lakers for life. I think actually it's Laker Girls for Life. Lakers Girl for Life. Anyway, before anybody says anything to themselves or to me about why am I making another video in my bedroom, let me just let y'all know. I was told by a therapist years ago, you need to find that one place in your home and make it yours. That's your comfort zone, your peace, just your space, somewhere you can go and just reflect and think, meditate if that's your thing. Well, my bedroom is that for me. All the way down to the way it's decorated, it is a reflection of me. It's my peace, it's my tranquility. It's where I do my best thinking, my best reflecting, where I've shed my tears, where I've screamed with frustration. Anyway, but yeah, in case you're wondering, yes, my bedroom once again. So, anyway, I've been struggling on which one of the topics I wanted to talk about. The one that I chose to go with, I haven't spoke on yet, and I don't speak on it very often, even to my closest friends or family, because it's still kind of fresh and a bit painful for me. But that's the whole idea behind this channel is maybe reaching out and helping someone heal from something they've been through, or just coming in tune with some inner feelings or struggles they're dealing with. And on top of that, like I've told everybody since I started this a few weeks ago, it is so therapeutic for myself. So hopefully with me talking about this issue tonight, that could be a little bit of closure that I need on this particular subject and experience in my life. I won't go into all the details, but a lot of you that know me personally know that since my divorce from the devil himself, as I call him, I have only been in maybe one serious committed relationship where I can say I was honestly in love with this man. And that was up until January of this year. And let me just say, he was everything I never knew I wanted or needed in a man. He was absolutely an amazing father. He had a stable job. He had his own everything. He didn't want nor need anything from me. Very respectful. He was handsome. Very family orientated. Just all around good guy. My family loved him, and I grew to love him very quickly. It was early on that he started saying he loved me. Me being the cautious, damaged, but in construction, or excuse me, under construction woman that I am, I was scared to admit that to him or myself. And so finally I did. And once I did, I feel like that made me vulnerable to him. And that may have been part of the problem as to why things went completely south with us. I think that he kind of took that and ran with it, and then in return maybe used it against me, if that makes sense. However, I won't go into long details about our split, but I will say that it came with no notice. It was hugely based on miscommunication on his part, and his reaction to it was what really has stuck with me. And after a conversation with someone that I've recently met, it kind of became clear to me that the whole split up between him and I, however devastating it may have been to me emotionally and still is, yes, because I'm still healing from that. You know, this was the first man that I loved since my ex-husband. I was very vulnerable and exposed to him, and like I said, I feel like he used that against me, and that was hurtful. It still is, but I am overcoming that. I am healing from that, and I'm trying to find my closure. And I think that this video is actually going to help me with that. Like I've said numerous times, this is more therapeutic for me than it is for any one of you, or anybody that I could even hope to reach out and touch with some of my experiences. This is more therapeutic for me, which is a huge part of why I want to continue this. I wouldn't care if I only had 5 subscribers. At the end of every video, I feel such a relief lifted off of me. And lately I've been getting comments from even strangers about my videos, and I can't describe to you guys how wonderful that makes me feel, how much that helps me. Like, I just absolutely love and admire each and every one of you that take the time out to even say a word to me, even hit the like button or subscribe to me. I am just the average person, the average damaged woman who is trying to heal and become the best me that I can possibly be, to present to you and to maybe help one of you not have to go through some of the things I've went through, or carry the burdens that I've had to carry because of some of the poor decisions and choices that I've made. With all that being said, back to the situation at hand. So this gentleman and I split with no closure whatsoever on his part, behind this misunderstanding. And that has not settled with me at all. It's been very unsettling to my soul, to my heart, to me mentally and emotionally. I've been questioning myself since, and mind you, this happened maybe mid-January. I've been questioning myself a lot. Like, what did I do wrong? What could I have done differently? And even though I'm sure there are quite a few things that I could have done differently, or just maybe did that I didn't do, because like I said, that was my first relationship after my divorce, and I was still healing and overcoming some issues behind my divorce. But even with all that being said, the biggest part that I wanted you guys to get from this video is what I'm about to say now. Is I was speaking to someone last night, somebody that I've just recently met, and he asked me about the situation. And upon us discussing like what could have caused the separation with no closure, you know, what was his reasoning behind how he handled things with our relationship ending, it hit me like a ton of bricks. You know, people say that certain individuals, well, excuse me, not even certain individuals, that every single person that comes into your life comes into your life for maybe just a season and also for a reason. And, you know, I've heard that for so many years, and it never really rang true for me. As far as men in my life, except the ones that taught me lessons as far as what not to put up with when dealing with a man. But in the last couple of years, I've become a firm believer in God makes no mistakes. And also, I don't believe in chance meetings. And I can't say that enough. And I feel like this gentleman came into my life not only for a season, but definitely for a specific reason. And like I said, it hit me like a ton of bricks last night that maybe, just maybe, the reason behind him coming and going so quickly the way he did was because throughout the short-lived relationship that we had, there was a few things that set off red flags. And for the new me, for the me that is healed tremendously from where I was just 2 years ago, for the new me who is very cautious and aware of what's going on around her when dealing with the opposite sex, the new me who is mentally and emotionally and spiritually stronger than I've ever been, and I'm not done yet, has not ignored those red flags since my divorce. I've dated. It's no secret to people who know me. I've dated and I've talked to gentlemen, mingled with them, hung out with them. The first sign of a red flag, I run for the hills. And, You know, a lot of you will say, well, she's too picky, or, well, she just wants the perfect guy. She's going to end up alone. Or who does she think she is? Well, let me tell you something. Who I think I am is an amazing fucking woman. And I know what I bring to the table in any relationship, whether it's friend, family, or my other half. And I'm not willing to accept anything less than what I'm bringing. So if this is what I'm bringing, I need you to match me. That goes mentally, emotionally, just everything. But here I go rambling. And like I've always said, if I'm rambling, there's still a message behind it. But I was ignoring some of the red flags that I should not have been. And I think a lot of that had to do with me just finally feeling like there was a chance at me being in love with someone again. There was a chance at me having someone again. I think a lot of it was just for me to say, I have my person, if that makes sense. And I kind of lost sight of everything that I had overcome and all the things I've learned and just experience since my divorce, things that I've learned about myself and about relationships with the opposite sex, and just things I've learned about men in general. But I think I was losing sight of that because I had fallen head over heels in love with this guy, and I never saw it coming. Me falling in love with him I was completely blindsided. I had no idea. I wasn't looking. I met him purely by accident, and it just took off from there. But there were red flags, and I chose to ignore them. And they were minor at the time, but also I knew better in the sense of the red flags that I used to ignore with my ex-husband. And even just with a few of my exes, because it's no secret that I was physically, emotionally, and verbally abused by a couple men over my lifetime due to the choices I've made. And, you know, that's just, it is what it is. Lesson learned. I call it life's experience. And it doesn't define who I am. And I'm definitely not the same woman. But I knew better than to ignore those red flags. And I knew that those minor red flags turn into major red flags. And I can recall 3 red flags that I ignored with this certain gentleman that I was with. And looking back with my broken heart, I firmly believe now that the reason behind me meeting him was to remind me and make me aware. I think it was God's way of saying, hey, you, like, you know better than this. Look what you've been through. Look at all that you've endured. And you've come out on top. You know better. Quit ignoring what's right in front of you. Regardless of how badly I wanted to love or be loved, I needed to be awakened, and I needed to be aware, and I needed to quit ignoring what was right in front of me. True enough, there were more pros than cons with him. However, we were getting ready to make a huge commitment and move in together. And with him having children and me having children, that was going to be huge. It was going to be life-changing. And this particular situation that happened between us that caused us to split happened literally just a week to 2 weeks before we were about to make this huge commitment. And so I believe that was the reason. And also the season. He was here with me to teach me. I know it sounds corny, but all that glitters isn't gold. And that's the first thing I can think of every time I think of him. All that glitters isn't gold, because believe you and me, baby, he glittered. I mean, he glittered. He was everything, like I said, that I never knew I wanted in a man. However, there was this other side to him, and he exposed that to me just briefly and ever so gently, if that makes sense to you. And the particular night that comes to mind, it was deja vu. And I told him that, and he didn't like that. And I think that had a large part to do with why we finally split. I said it was deja vu, and he took it as I meant the situation at hand, when in all actuality, like I told him, no, it was him that was the deja vu. I had been turning a blind eye to little situations with other people where he didn't practice self-control, which turns into huge anger issues. And I witnessed a little bit of that, not with myself, but with other people in his life. And I saw him switch up real quick when he was frustrated or overwhelmed, per se. I saw him switch up, and his whole demeanor, his talk, his tone, his touch, everything switched up with him. And I didn't like that. This isn't the man that I had just fell in love with, that I had finally, admittedly, like, fell in love with. And I was ignoring all that because I wanted to be loved, and I wanted to love him so bad. But had we have moved in together and combined our households and our children, I know where it would have went. I know for a fact, there's no doubt in my mind, that inevitably it would have went to somewhat of what it was with my ex-husband and I. Those were a lot of the similar traits that he had problems with. No self-control, serious anger issues. And it was just deja vu. Like I told him, he was deja vu. And people, I won't say ladies because it's gentlemen as well. People, let me just say, like, the point of this was, don't ignore those red flags. And you really need to come to terms with the fact of letting go of people in certain situations and finding your own closure, which is what I think I'm finally able to do after this video. I think I will have had the closure that I need. His loss, by the way, I'm an amazing fucking woman, and all of y'all that know me personally know that there is nothing I won't do for someone I love. I will literally go to war for anything I care about. And I'm sorry that he didn't get to experience that, but someone will. And just don't ignore the red flags, and come to terms, like I said, with the fact that people do come into your life for a season and a reason. And when their season is up, let them go. Let them go and find yourself again. And be okay with that. And just know that you need to be aware at all times. Don't get sidetracked and off focus because you're head over heels in love, or totally obsessed or lusting after this drop dead gorgeous man, or just you're so caught up in the moment that you choose to ignore the few little things. Just don't do it. Pay attention to all that and realize that at that time it's going to be small because it's the beginning, but it only gets worse. It's never going to get better. If they choose to expose that side of themselves, or a negative side, then if it's minute at that time, just imagine what it's going to turn into as time goes by. You guys are more comfortable with each other. There's more love and feelings and emotions and stresses involved. Just imagine what it's going to turn into. But just don't pull a me. Just pay attention. Stay awoke. Be very particular about who you choose to keep in your life. If God is showing you ways that he's trying to remove this person, let him just do that. Let him remove that person. Let it go. Don't hang on to something that's not meant to be held on to. He will remove and place people in your life for specific reasons. And it's your job to figure that out. And once you do, let it go. And I promise you'll find your inner peace a whole lot quicker. It took me too long, I think. Here we are into April, and this was mid-January. And I have been distraught over this. I have been crushed emotionally and needed this closure from this particular person. In all actuality, I don't. I had to find my own closure. I had to do what was best for me mentally and emotionally. So here I am. Okay, with all that being said, I won't bore you guys with any more. Hopefully, someone got something out of this. I really hope you did. And I am open to suggestions on topics because I guarantee that just about anything you can come up with, I have dealt with some way or another, believe me. But until next time, you guys take care of yourselves. Protect your heart. Be open to love, though, and love like you've never been hurt. But just be protective of your heart and who you give it to, and pay attention to all red flags. And hopefully that reading another text. Hopefully, when the love of your life comes through, it's for all seasons and for the best of the best reasons. So thank you guys for your support. Please share my videos. Please subscribe. Tell your friends. I'm a real ass person that's went through some real ass shit, and I want to talk about it, and I hope that it helps you guys the way it helps me. Have an amazing evening. You guys stay safe. Hopefully everybody's in good health. I'm praying for all of you, and thank you to our essential workers and our first responders. You guys are amazing, and may God have mercy on each and every one of you. I will talk to you guys soon. Thank you. Bless.